was walking through the yard one spring day, and I grew so excited because when I looked at the rock there in the flower bed, there were beautiful flowers just starting to come up, all kinds and all colors. They were truly the flowers of spring, and I was so grateful to the Lord. The flowers of spring, pink, yellow, and white, bloom in profusion, dazzle with delight. A festive array of colors so bright, a delightful perception, bringing joy to our sight. We thank you, O Lord, and our praise to you bring, for blessing us richly with the flowers of spring. When the world gives way. When the world around gives way, and its peace of mind I seek, I find a quiet, peaceful place to hear my Savior speak. I listen for his guidance when my road comes to an end, and ask for his direction, which I know that he will send. I listen to him speak, the hope I long to hear, his words filled with encouragement to help me persevere. I listen as he says, give your burdens now to me, and I will give you rest and will help to make you free. I hear him say in love, continue trusting me each day, and I will give you joy and bless each step along your way. And then I know for sure, when the world around gives way, that God alone is there to lead me through the day. When I think of my mother and all my growing up years, I think of how hard she worked just to help me grow to adulthood. And I especially think of my mother's hands. A mother's hands are tender. They have a gentle touch. They speak with warmth and feeling that say, I love you very much. A mother's hands are working from dawn to setting sun. They work with care and love till all her work is done. A mother's hands are patient. They're tolerant and persevere when all around seems hectic and the road ahead unclear. A mother's hands are firm. They discipline from the heart. They ask God for the wisdom that to their children they impart. But most of all, her hands lift to God in prayer each day to ask him for his guidance with those along her way. For a mother's hands are praying that her life be not in vain, that the lives entrusted to her will be his kingdom's gain. The magic of the mountains. The magic of the mountains burst forth in early spring with shades of green and flowers bright and songs the warblers sing. With paths that wind through forest floors lined with trillium fair, with mayapple vines and soft green moss and mushrooms here and there. The magic of the mountains casts a spell that touches all, a spell of love and beauty that make us sense and feel God's call. For the magic of the mountains is produced by God alone. He alone creates the springtime magic that is shown. Do not be discouraged. Do not be discouraged, the Master calmly said. Just live your life in love for me each day instead. The blessings then will come as you live for me each day, and I will give you guidance on each step along your way. There is no room for sorrow when you live your life for me, for into your life will flow my joy just endlessly. And my peace I'll give unto you, and my joy will be your strength. For my love for you is endless, with no depth or breadth or length. Now I'd like to share with you about the cabbage plant. It was just a little cabbage plant, pulled up by birds that day, and when we found it lying there, so lifeless it did lay. We placed it in a cup of water, with hope it would revive, but as we watched the leaves dry up, it was more dead than alive. We picked it up to throw away when suddenly we saw tiny sprouts of green beneath the dead leaves about to fall. We learned a lot by watching that little cabbage plant that day, that when life seems dead and useless, don't give up and throw it away. For just as sprouts of green appeared when all else seemed dead, rather than our feeling worthless, God gives us life instead. He gives us hopes and dreams and revives our spirits new and fills us with visions great of what He would have us do. For by prayer and prayer alone can we ask God for direction as we seek to know His will in prayerful thinking and reflection. Our thinking must be in harmony with the mind of God each day, and ideas guided by His insight in each step along the way. So, like that little cabbage plant with tiny sprouts of green, God desires to give us life in a sometimes dull routine. When I think of the mountains, the beautiful mountains all around us, I think these words, timeless are the mountains. Timeless are the mountains, ageless are their peaks, endless is their message, poignantly they speak. Speak through all the ages, speak a message all their own. Speak the faithfulness of God, speak of power that's His alone. For just as they'll stand bold in years that are yet to be, so the love and truth of God stands through all eternity. We are now in the middle of summer. And just a little while ago, we were just wondering when summer comes, what would happen, and we were looking so forward to when summer comes. When summer comes, I like to think of mountains and the sea, of quiet places, gardens, stream, and calm serenity, and of places that are new to travel, where I've never been or seen, of lovely walks through shaded glens, of placid lakes serene. When summer comes, I like to think of all God gives to me, and hope that I, in some small way, can share the gifts I see. Its rays upon the earth, when the trees and plants around have all experienced a rebirth, when you think of lemonade and bathing suits appear, then it's time to slow your pace, for the month of June is here. When you think of homemade ice cream and picnics by the lake, when you dream of lovely trips and vacations you will take, when the garden plants are growing and the food is at its best, then the month of June is calling for you to pause and take a rest. For the lovely month of June stirs to mind our summer fun and the happy days of gladness of a summer just begun. And sometimes We just want to capture the spirit of summer. Capture the spirit of summer. Hold it close in your heart. Share it with loved ones around you, and the spirit of summer impart. Capture the spirit of travel, the spirit of just being outside, the spirit of family reunions, of seeing friends far and wide. Capture the spirit of fishing. On a warm summer afternoon, of letting time pass by slowly, of whistling a happy tune. Capture the spirit of summer, of lemonade under a tree, the spirit of family togetherness at the park, the mountains, the sea. Yes, capture the spirit of summer through the gifts God gives each day, for the wonderful spirit of summer can never be taken away. This is still the month of July, and just a few weeks ago, we celebrated the 4th of July, one nation under God. One nation under God, how important that truth is, for our nation and its people and the land are surely His. For the freedom that is ours comes from God and God alone, and every day we should give thanks for this blessing that He's shown. One nation under God. May this truth be always said, for if we're not alive to God, then our nation will be dead.